Guys, I am Alex, and today I want to tell you something really interesting about session tables in BigQuery. Firstly, let me go ahead and introduce myself here. I am Alex. I'm marketing and product analyst. I write a lot about marketing and product analytics. Basically within Google stack like GA4, BigQuery, Google Tag Manager, and so on. You can join me on LinkedIn or my other resources, yeah, and we can discuss a lot, I guess, about how to extract data, how to manipulate it within the Google stack, and some other instances, yeah. So today's topic is building the session table within the GA4 expert. Yeah, and I want to tell you that I already discussed it in my BigQuery attribution workshop series. Uh, I put the link below the video with some sort of discount code for my BigQuery attribution workshops. You can join it, you can watch it, and the building the session table is the first part of my BigQuery attribution workshops, and it's really important. And I want to tell you why. Firstly, and I guess you already know it, BigQuery GA4 Export is the pale of raw hits or raw events with some specific schema. Yeah, it's just a bunch of rows, and each of rows is event or hit with some specific dimensions, parameters, and so on. But it's okay, yeah, but sometimes we have some really tiny and complicated tasks when we need to calculate some sort of attribution, yeah, for instance. And in this particular case, we need to manipulate or need to redistribute not events, but let's say touches or like some sort of interactions between the user and our resource site or web application. It doesn't matter. And for this particular case, we need to let's say recombine and unite our events or hits in some specific pairs of interactions like touches. And in GA4 and Google Analytics, they usually called like sessions, yeah. And it's not so easy to build a session table within the BigQuery GA4 expert for some reason, yeah. By now, today, I want to show you an example how to build session tables using just a few tricks like window functions or subqueries and so on. So it's really interesting and not so complicated. I think I put an example of my code below the video. You can copy it and you can use it and share with your friends, for instance. Yeah, and I hope it will be really useful for you, for your business, for your daily routines, for instance. And I would appreciate your feedback and maybe your likes or some other reactions with my video or my content. Uh, okay, let's dive into our BigQuery GA4 expert and try to build our session table on my GA4 expert. Okay, take a look. So let's begin. There is my BigQuery project and my J4 expert, as you can see. So let's try to build our session table. Okay, take a look. That's our schema of J4 expert. As you can see, there are a bunch of there was a lot of events with some dimensions as we discussed before, but now we wanna rebuild our session tables from that pile of hits or pile of events. Okay, so let's begin from just a few simple steps. We query user pseudo ID. It's just a identifier of our users. In the next query, we try to build session ID value. We take it from event params with unnest operator. If you don't know what the unnest operator is, try to look and read about it in some documentation, and because it's really useful for making a really rich and comprehensive queries in BigQuery. Okay, let's name it session ID. Okay, now we can query some specific dimensions, specific parameters, which we are really curious about when we usually build session tables. For instance, event date, event timestamp, of course, device category. Let's rename it with alias. Okay. Country. And session source. We use collected traffic source for session attribution, and in this video we do not cover why we use collected traffic source, but if you're curious about it, you can delve into my attribution workshop videos. A link you can find below the video. Okay, manual source, I think it's enough. We replace all the null values with none. Okay. And we also try to calculate all the conversions from some specific sessions, and if this event is like the type of this event is conversion in our picture, we put it in 1 with just a simple condition. For my particular case, I use conversion like event name equals form sent. Is conversion. Okay, so I think that's enough, but we add something like a filtering condition. We try to exclude some service event. I'm talking about session start and first visit, for instance. So it just doesn't matter for our purposes because all we need now is to build session table with some specific dimension, and most of the dimensions from session start and first visited are inherited from, for instance, the first visit or the first hit of session. So we just don't need this service event like session start and first visit. Okay, so let's try to perform it. So what do we have? It's just a pile of hits in some flat table with all the dimensions that we need for our session table. Great. So let's continue. For our next purposes, we gonna wrap uh, this query as a subquery, and we name it hits. Okay. What do we now? We select all the rows and all the columns from hits except is conversion and event timestamp. Okay. And now we gonna use something that we usually call like a window function. We use raw number. Just wait a second. Raw number. With partitioning by session ID. And order by event timestamp, and we call it hit order. Okay, so let me explain. It just means that we tell BigQuery try to order all the hit within specific session, and put the number within the each hit or each event from 1 to, let's say, 9, 10, and so on. So we just put the specific number within the specific order of hits. Okay. In the next query, we just try to format our timestamp for further operations. Just a few sec. And we call it session start. Why call it session start? I try to describe a bit later. Okay, hope it's clear. And now we're gonna make some really tricky calculations. What are we gonna do? We try to calculate max event timestamp with partitioning by session ID. It's just the finish of our session. It's just the timestamp of the last hit within the session. Okay, and we make this. It's just the difference. We calculate the difference between the first and the last event within the session. Okay, and now we divide it by million, and now we just have a difference between the last and the first event in the session in seconds. And now we just try to round it. And we call it session length in sec. Okay. That's how we calculate session duration. Yeah, and we also try to sum up all the conversions within specific session. With partition by session area also. Okay, so let's try to perform it. What do we do now? We just try to make up our hits table, yeah, and we add some specific dimensions like session start for specific session, hit order, session duration or session length, and conversion total. Okay, so that's almost all that we try to do, and in the last step we try to wrap this query as a subquery. Okay, and I'm gonna use comma. And now we're gonna do some magic. We want to query everything except hit order. From window hits. With filtering condition. What does it mean? It just means that we tell BigQuery, give me all the information about this session from the first hit. We just try to inherit all the dimensions and parameters from the first hit of the session, and it's reasonable, except some calculation that we did with partitioning by session ID. For instance, sum of conversions or session duration. Yeah. Okay. So that's our session tables. Session table. Yeah. We have user pseudo ID, session ID, event date, and so on. But I think we need to make it quite a bit. So we need to add more complexity. Firstly, I want to tell you about session ID. For make it unique, we need to concatenate it with the user pseudo ID. Okay, so now we have 100%. We have 100% session ID with this concat parameter. Okay, so that is session ID, event date, device category, country, session source, session start, and nice format, a session length, and conversions total. And I guess that's it. We can now extend the time frame for the whole calculation and now get the comprehensive session tables with all the dimensions and some calculated metrics like conversion total and session duration. So that's it basically. Now I'm gonna put the link to all the query, the code below the video. And if you wanna get deeper into some sort of tricks with BigQuery and GA4 export, try to evaluate and purchase my BigQuery attribution workshop series. You can find discount code below the video also. And also follow me on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and share this video with your folks. I think it also will be really valuable for them and for you. Now we're finished, and that's it. Thank you very much for joining me, and see you on YouTube or on LinkedIn. Bye.